In 1984, Mark Lester's Firestarter burned the patience of his audience. The US production with an R rating had a budget of $15 million and pulled in America about its costs back. So it was not a success and got quite negative feedback from the audience and critics, but was successful on video and has now a certain trash value. It is based on the 8th novel by Stephen King, Firestarter, from 1980. The book is about a young girl who was born with the ability of pyrokinesis. She can kindle fire with her will, as her parents participated in a drug experiment during college. This arouses government interest. After killing the mother, they chase father and daughter to abuse them as weapons. Andrew McGee and his little daughter Charlie are on the run from a dubious secret service called The Shop. A few years earlier, Andrew took part in a scientific experiment where he met his future wife Vicky. Through the drugs, both create abilities. They get a daughter who can kindle fire with her mind. When the shop gets wind of it, they try to kidnap the child. After the mother gets killed, father and daughter became fugitives. The soundtrack from Tangerine Dream is the only bright spot in this awful adaptation. He came from the time when Christopher Franke was part of the band. Movie and novel are, from my point of view, extremely different from each other, even if the rough plot is similar. Only in the movie do Charlie's parents actively train her to control her powers. And when she starts a fire, her hair flies in a not further explained wind. Also that Andy has to touch his temples with both hands when he uses his gift. Only in the book, among other things, John Rainbird's face is completely disfigured by a web of scars. Is a Doc Hockstetter responsible for Charlie's case? He is missing in the movie. Does Andy punch his daughter in the face when she destroys the Mandas farm? Does Charlie fall in love with the horses during her captivity, all of whom end up being shot by panicked agents? Is starting fires an initially unpleasant side effect with Charlie's other powers? Namely, she is also telekinetically gifted and she empties payphones in the book, not her father like in the movie.
Charlie McGee is a healthy 8-year-old girl, normal in every way.
When I first time in my life bought a book for myself, it was Firestarter by Stephen King. When I finished it after days full of pride of myself reading such a big book, I organized with much effort the actually inaccessible videotape, which was theoretically not for children available. This required the outsmarting of uninformed adults, in that case the stupid female ones, renting a VHS player, staying overnight in another city far away since the movie was nowhere to find in my area, and so on. When I finally saw it, the disappointment was beyond describable. I just couldn't understand how somebody had cast the movie so badly that I noticed it even as a child right away, since in the novel the most important rogue figure is a slender Irokese, which also explains his behavior in dealing with death, since he's a death cult believer. There he kills people because he wants to catch the moment in their eyes when their soul leaves the body. In the movie he shows the same behavior, but is a white man and with a stocky George C. Scott convincingly badly chosen. Here he kills people because he believes that their power will then be transformed to him. Typical Hollywood crap. In addition, the script also has so many gaps and inconsistencies that they could use it easily as a sieve. Firestarter is by far not the worst movie adaptation. That remains for me for all eternity Running Man, and compared to other disasters, I just say Mick Garris, at least as trash entertaining, but has with me for nostalgic reasons always this one very special place, down on the bottom of my trash can. In 2002, Firestarter 2 Rekindled proves that TV sequels can be as eerie as their cinema predecessors, namely eerie stupid. John Rainbird, seemingly resurrected from the dead, wants to reach for world domination with the help of the subject's physically gifted descendants. Here we get an adult version of the Firestarter, her backstory in flashbacks, which is still on the run, mainly from a script that makes sense, and has to face several gifted children, aka some poor man's X-Man. One can force people to do things, one can shatter walls by screaming, one can distinguish between truth and lies, no joke, one can make things fly around, and one can absorb energy. With gifted, I mean their supernatural abilities, which do not include power of acting. Anyone who still manages to get through this 3-hour snorefest presumably also possesses supernatural abilities. ...2022 sees the release of Keith Thomas' cinema remake, next to which both old versions look like Citizen Kane and High Art. In the Blumhouse production that looks even cheaper than the TV version and practically ignores the book completely, the clinical experiments of the parents appear unimaginative, color-alienated as opening credits flashbacks. In this version, Rainbirds is the murderer of Charlie's mother, who is still in school at the beginning, even if this doesn't make any sense.
I'm a Firestarter, twisted Firestarter.
On their escape, the father is captured and the daughter comes to free him, unsuccessfully. That's it. There is no incident on the Mendes farm, there is a replacement scene where Rainbirds shoots the policeman for reasons but only wounds the homeowner, and no experiments by the shop. But instead, never-ending boring talks between the few poorly staged action scenes.